It's Ray Charles on Radio 2 and I Got a Woman. So I've just relocated from the studio where I was speaking to you for the past hour, and I've come outside to the Elton John piano, and Ryan Tedder is sat hammering the Elton John piano. Did you have fun in the last 2 minutes?
I did.
What were you doing?
I was messing around. We had to learn Candle in the Wind, and it's funny, I used to play this song. I mean, I never properly learned it. I picked it up by ear years ago, but I did it in the key of A, and it's in the key of E.
Oh.
So I had to bring in...
You're getting all reacquainted.
It's complicated enough that I brought in one of our guys in our band to come play with me.
Oh, I see, right. So that you can concentrate on
there's
singing.
enough... I mean, there's enough lyrics in this song that all I remember is the...
Go on.
I can remember the intro, and then I'm singing it in the wrong key. So now we have it in the proper key. I think we're set.
Okay, we're fine. You enjoying the piano? You happy with Elton's piano?
Oh my God, it's perfect. I mean, it's the action on it. I mean, this sounds very piano nerd talk, but the action, the easeability of how it plays, it's phenomenal. Yeah.
Wow. We are filming this, by the way, and people will be able to watch it. Not now,
Sweet.
but later.
So just put it out on the internet for the world for the rest of eternity,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah, you
great. I
messing
love
up.
that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I love that. There will be a mess up, I promise.
It's funny. I was kind of Googling and looking around and trying to remember when we've met before, because our paths have crossed in the past.
I know when we met.
Oh, do you? Go on.
I think we met during a live lounge in 2008.
Oh, you've been researching as well. We did.
No, I didn't research at all.
You just knew that.
We were downstairs in the basement of what was the original Live Lounge Radio 1 situation. We did apologize, and we covered Duffy, Mercy.
Oh, very good. Oh, my gosh, yeah. That was great. And it was the most unglamorous setting, because there were photographs of it, and you're sitting on like a red couch.
Yeah.
And it's an office space, essentially.
Well, it was the entire room was the size of this piano.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice.
It really was. But then I also found a bit of footage that someone had posted. It was the Big Weekend, Radio 1's Big Weekend. Yeah. And I'd obviously got their camera out, and they just filmed us talking. And you were on crutches. Yeah,
I was. I blew out my Achilles, which is, you know what, in the pantheon of medical emergencies, the one I would least recommend is blowing out your Achilles. Just don't do it.
Do you remember how you did it? What happened?
I was playing basketball somewhere in the middle of Michigan, and... the irony is, I think that same day I was like telling someone how, man, I'm in the best shape of my life. Because I was like running like 10Ks, like approximately 10K 4 or 5 times a week. I'm a runner now. And I was doing it at the time and playing basketball, and it was just too much, and it blew out my Achilles.
Oh my gosh. How would you describe the pain, honestly? I mean, you've had other injuries, I suspect, in your life.
So I had a couple doctors say this to me, and I'm not comparing this. So a man in his lifetime, most men will never experience childbirth, the pain of childbirth. No. I had a doctor tell me there's a pain scale, a medical scale that actually measures pain. Blowing your Achilles out is the very top. It's like it's the equivalent to a gunshot wound, or he said the equivalent to in terms of pain, it's like childbirth. But the difference of childbirth could last for hours and hours and hours and hours. And when you blow out your Achilles, it lasts for like 20 minutes. And then I was screaming profanity in the hospital. And a guy comes over to me with a needle and just jacks me with morphine. And then I was just like, I was good.
Did you love that doctor with a passion?
Oh my God. I mean, I feel so bad for whoever's in that hospital, because I ruptured it playing basketball, and it sounds like a firecracker. It's like, it goes off. The whole basketball, everyone there heard it. And it was like, wow, this hurts really bad, but it's not as bad as I thought. I got to the emergency room, and then, this is not to sound gross to people that are listening, but then my calf muscle finally detached from my ankle in the emergency room, and that's when I screamed bloody murder. I mean, I went nuts. Yeah.
Wow. I've got a friend who is phobic about Achilles heel, who, if you talk about Achilles heel, then she just freaks. She freaks out. So I really hope she's listening right now.
I hope she's too. Well, I'm paranoid I'm going to blow. I run all the time, and now I have these weird phantom feelings like I might blow my other one. I'm praying to God I don't blow my other one out.
Well, you were tweeting earlier on today that you've been running around London today.
Yeah. So, I always go for runs here.
Tell us about your running then. Why do you run, and how far do you run? What do you do?
Well, I run because I like food.
Okay.
And wine. I like food and drink, and so in order for me to enjoy the food that I like, I don't eat like tons of food, but I love eating what I want to eat. And for me to do that, I don't have, those friends you have that have those crazy metabolisms. Everybody has that friend who's like, I don't know, I eat everything and I still look like this.
They're called frenemies, I think.
Yeah, frenemies, yeah. So I'm not that. I have to run to enjoy, and I travel so much. The way I get to see cities, from London to, what I know of London is primarily from running, to Lisbon, to South Africa, to Australia. It's all from running. And so I'll go for like a 5 mile, 6 mile, whatever that is, 10K, 7 to 10K run. And that's how I see the city. That's how I discover like shops and sites and kind of everything. And throw on my hat and and I also listen to music, and that's when I write a lot of lyrics when I'm running through various cities.
Wow.
Yeah.
So hang on, do you memorize them? Or they running? You've obviously got an incredible brain when it comes to words.
I mean, I was writing today. I was working on a song. I had a studio kind of set up in my hotel room, so I went for a run. We stay in different hotels around London, but today we were staying near the Thames, near Westminster. And so one of the things I do is I'll run along the Thames, and then I'll run into the actual... I don't know if this is legal, if I'm allowed to do this, but I've been doing it for years. I run into the Dean's Yard. So, when you run past Westminster, apparently there's a school at Westminster. Westminster School. I don't know what it's for. I don't know what they're teaching. Presumably something religious. But there's a Dean's schoolyard. It's not that big. If you run around it 10 times... it might be like 1 kilometer. I mean, it's really not that big. But nobody bothers you. It's quiet. It's beautiful. And then like every 45 minutes, it looks like Hogwarts letting out from school. And everybody walks out
in
wearing...
robes.
No, literally in robes. And like, I mean, when I say Hogwarts, they're dressed like literally they from Hogwarts. And no one bothers me. The students just kind of, they don't pay any mind to me. And then the security don't bother me. And I'm just running. So... anytime I get yelled at, I'm running fast enough that the guy doesn't have enough time to...
No way can they catch you.
Yeah, so I just run... I'll run along the Thames, and then I'll run for like 20 minutes in that square and knock out 4 or 5K, and then run back to the hotel.
And what did you write today? What was? How did the song go? and what song is it you're working on? Who for?
Oh, my God. That lets cats out of the bag, doesn't it? Well, today I just finished... what did I just finish? I'm working on multiple ideas at the moment. We finished the One Republic album, so I've been working on ideas for Ellie
Goulding.
Ellie Goulding. I had Mr. James Blunt came by the hotel. I wrote Bonfire Hearts, his last single, and so then today he came by the hotel, and I was coming up with lyric ideas for that session. So
wow,
yeah. So I run in the morning, and that's when I do a lot of my writing.
Excellent. Right, let's go back to 2008 and the song that you did in the live lounge you're now doing on the Elton John piano for me at Radio 2, which is lovely.
Yes.
It's Ryan Tedder. And you going to do Apologise?
Oh, sure. Okay, I thought you meant Mercy by Duffy. I was like, oh, crap, I've not... I mean, what was that? You haven't got the
lyrics, no.
I want you to release me.
Wow. That was incredible. Ryan Tedder.
Thank you.
On the Elton John piano doing Apologise. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Have you seen Timberland lately?
Like 9 years ago.
Oh, was he really? He came on my show as a guest when I was at Radio 1. That was a very memorable experience. That's
yeah. Yo, how you doing?
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to play a track and then we'll come back for more live music from Ryan Tedder. We'll play a band that you love, Vampire Weekend, right?
Oh my God, it's my favorite band.
There you go. That's why we're playing them.
All right, thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're listening to Radio 2 right now, though. Teresa on Twitter, wow, Elton's piano is something else, and Ryan Tedder is on fire this evening. And he's about to play another track for us. When it comes to songwriting, this came from your father, is that right? The passion or the craft?
My dad was a gospel songwriter for a lot of years. He had a couple of publishing songwriting deals offers, and he declined them for various reasons, family and things like that. But he was a songwriter. My uncle is actually also a songwriter as well, and travels back and forth to London all the time doing songwriting sessions. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's just something you've always had in you. You wrote when you were at school, you did creative writing, you did poems?
I was an actor, actually, in school. So I started playing music when I was 3. And when I was 14, 15, I discovered that there were people that wrote songs for all the artists that I loved. I saw names behind Michael Jackson's songs and various different artists, and I thought, oh my God, who's writing these songs? So that kind of opened the window to songwriting, and music became an unhealthy obsession. I skipped class in college. I lost my scholarship. I had an academic scholarship. I lost it my freshman year because I ditched class to play piano and to write. Yeah, so music.
Sorry, just sitting in your bedroom writing.
Well, I was writing. Yeah.
Lessons.
I'm an only child, so I had lessons. I did classical music until I was 14. So like what I did on Apologize, a lot of that is me just riffing on classical stuff, that I did for years, and then I got into improvisation and a little bit into blues and jazz. So it's this weird combination of different things. But what I listened to growing up was this combination of I'd go listen to hip-hop and then I'd go listen to Peter Gabriel's So. And so it was the weird juxtaposition between Britpop and hip-hop and gospel music. That's kind of where I live. The first tape I ever had was Beach Boys. The first song I ever learned was Stevie Wonder. I Just Called to Say I Love You. And it's you're a product of your environment. So it's all that combined, and then the acting and the theater. I did theater for years, and I had a scholarship for acting, but that was the only thing. That's what kind of got me out of my shell and started getting me singing in front of people was theater.
Yeah, because it's an entirely different thing, isn't it? Writing songs,
completely different.
You hide behind the performer.
If you know the TV show Glee,
oh yes,
I was. This is in all honesty the who I was in high school. Now he's passed away, but Corey Monty, the guy that was playing football and doing sports that snuck in and like secretly was part of theater, that was me. I was doing soccer and football and baseball, but then I was the guy that like would leave practice early and be like, guys, I got to go home, but really I was going to theater to do rehearsals. Yeah.
Okay. What was your proudest moment on stage? What play did you do or show?
Well, I was in drag. And this is well before. I'm from Oklahoma, which is like the most conservative state in America. And I was in full drag in like 1997, I think it was, in Some Like It Hot. Marilyn, funny enough, the song we're about to do, Candle in the Wind, Marilyn Monroe was in Some Like It Hot. Yeah. And I was one of the guys that dressed in drag the whole show. I was also in Oklahoma, of course, and a bunch of other plays. But yeah, that was my proudest moment, is that I was 17, but I could wear a dress in front of all the cowboys and football players that I went to school with.
Wonderful. So we're at the Elton John piano, and you know Elton, I presume?
I know Elton as an acquaintance. We've hung out a couple times and talked music and records and just literally talked about records for hours. But it's funny, earlier today, it didn't really dawn on me. I was like, oh yeah, I need to do an Elton John song tonight. Then I had the realization that, I have to play it, and it's Candle in the Wind. Well, I know how to play Candle in the Wind in the wrong key. So I know it in the key of A, and it's not a terribly complicated song, but it's Elton John. So I want to play it with all the flourishes. It's so high in the key of A because I learned it when I think before I hit puberty. So I think the whole world knows this song. So yeah, Brian, thank God, I called him. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Just sitting here." I was like, "Please come to Radio 2 now and play Candle in the Wind." Could
have got Elton to come along and do it.
Well, no, but I was with of all people, I was with James Blunt. And James is like, well, I'm going to email Elton now, and if he's not, I know he's in London. If he's not doing anything, I'm going to ask him to just swing by the studio. So there was like a 50-50 chance when I got here that Elton was going to show up and play this.
God, that's my fantasy. That's my living fantasy. You nearly made it happen.
No. The thing is, if I had, I'm always just doing things and moving at a very rapid pace. So half the time I don't know what I'm doing until I'm in the van driving to the event. Mm-hmm. And if I had actually registered what was going on yesterday or this morning, I'm pretty sure we could have gotten him here. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Elton, next time, Elton. Next time.
Yeah, next time.
We'll do it.
Okay, so we have Brian on the keys and we have Ryan do the singing.
And we might mess this up, by the way. FYI. We're going to do verse, chorus, verse, chorus.
I think Elton would be okay with that. That was pretty damn fine. It's Ryan Tedder and Brian on the piano, of course, doing Candle in the Wind. Happy with that?
I think so.
Yeah, you didn't mess it up. It's right. It was great.
He does some of the some of Bernie Taupin's lyrics. I mean, it's the magic of the marriage of Elton and Bernie. These lyrics, as I was reading them today, I was like, "Dear God, in this lifetime, if I can write a song that's this good."
Yeah.
And Elton figures out a way to just get the melody in there, because it changes and. Some of these lines are twice as long as the ones before him, but Elton just was like, no, I got this. And he just makes it all work together. It's crazy.
I'm so fascinated with that relationship and how that works. I remember finding out for the very first time that Elton didn't write the words. Was just like, seriously? It's such a strange thing to get your head around.
I think there's been moments where he's done a few words here and there, but I know a guy that engineered an Elton John session in Los Angeles. A friend of mine I've been friends with for a decade. One of his first sessions in L.A. was engineering an Elton John session. And this is a long time ago. This is probably 2000, 2001, 2002. And it was for a movie of some sort. I don't know if it was Tarzan or whatever it was. And Elton, I kid you not, there's a room full of 20 engineers, the piano's set up. Elton walks in, has no idea what he's about to do. And everyone goes, Elton, are you all right? He's like, yeah, give me a cup of tea, give me some water, I'll be good. I'm waiting on a fax. He gets a fax from Bernie Taupin. It's the lyrics from London. Bernie emails him sends him the fax. Prints them out, puts them here, sits down, he goes, give me 5 minutes. No joke, 5 minutes. He sits down on the piano and he starts messing around. And 5 minutes later, he goes, all right, hit record. And I don't know what the song was, but he had taken the entire lyrics, written the entire melody and the arrangement and the chords, and he'd done it in let's say, under 10 minutes. And on the third take, it was done. I mean,
he's phenomenal.
Yeah, my friend said the
Absolutely
entire
phenomenal.
recording session was about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then Elton said, all right, who wants to go to dinner? And then walked up and left.
Wow.
Yeah,
We saw him last week. He did the Hyde Park Festival for Radio 2, and it was just hit after hit after hit. It was just great.
He's a genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have another track from you. We're going to play Adele next, I think.
Oh, yeah, which
Someone
one?
that you're quite familiar
Which
with.
one?
We're going to do Room Has It.
Oh, I like that one.
Written and produced by Brian Tedder, who's in the... I keep going to say Live Lounge because we've been talking about it now.
I know.
Oh,
I'm
that
messing
was
with
a
your head.
decade ago, and now I'm here at Radio 2. Yes,
8
and you're-
years. Don't age
All right.
yourself. 8
Okay.
years.
Yeah, I could do without that.
Yeah.
Anyway, written and produced by Ryan. How is it working with Adele? What's she like?
Terrible.
Yeah.
She's got to be the most talentless. I mean, honestly, how
Yeah,
did you
and that voice.
How do you get a record deal when you have a voice like that?
I
right?
have no idea.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
there's
it
not, there aren't enough good adjectives or superlatives I could say about her. She's great. She did that song in one take.
Gosh.
I was listening. This sounds funny. The idea for that song, the whole kind of dark, stompy gospel thing. I did that song with her, and 2 weeks later I did Love Runs Out, which was a One Republic song, and you can kind of, there's a similarity, but that kind of dark gospel thing was very much in my bloodstream. I love that sound for her. And I started playing this guitar riff that was kind of my interpolation of a Radiohead riff, believe it or not.
Yeah, because you love UK bands.
Yeah, I do. I like Dove's. We started a band pretty much based off of like copying Dove's records, and Oasis and all that. And it was a Radiohead riff that I changed a bunch, and then I mean, she sang that song. She sang that. The entire recording is done in one take, and then it was written almost just as fast. I mean, the first thing she ain't real. She ain't gonna be able to love you like I will. First thing out of her mouth. I was like, okay. Let's go.
So when you're writing for someone like Beyonce, Halo, tell me a little about that, how that song came to be. When did you write it? What's the process?
Well, I had blown out my Achilles. No, that's a true story. I had blown my Achilles out, and so I was bedridden.
Bedridden
For three weeks, and I had one session in 3 weeks. My wife had left to go run errands or whatever for like 3 or 4 hours. So a friend of mine, who had actually helped us get our first record deal and written a bunch of stuff, Evan, he came over. I said, I have 3 hours. Beyonce's asked me to do a song. We have a song called Come Home. That's the last song on our first album. And for whatever random reason, I got a call from her and her manager after our album came out saying, Beyonce's in love with this song, Come Home. She wants you to write a song for her album similar to that. Well, Halo sounds nothing like Come Home, but I opened up the keyboard and started playing something, and it sounded like angels. It was this... I think the chord was like... since we're sitting right here on the piano. Yeah. It started in the key of C, and the first thing that I played was a... So, and it was done on this kind of angelic pad. And then the guy I was writing with, he's like, guys, like, it sounds like angels. So we do a song called Angels, or like, we started kicking around terms like Halo. I was like, oh. And so we Googled, is there a song called Halo? And we didn't really find anything. And that's where the idea came from, was just the sound of the keyboard in the beginning of the record sounds like Halo. It sounds like an angel. And that was one of the quickest records I've ever written. It was done in 3 hours. We had the demo done in under 3 hours. And much like Beyonce, I did XO for her. I did it. I Was Here. A few songs. You never know when you have a song on her album, though. You send it to her. She's like, I love it. Oh my God. And then dead silence.
Oh, and how does that feel?
I'm used to it at this point. Adele kind of does the same thing. I did a bunch of songs. I knew she loved Remedy. I did a Remedy on 25. And they go. Artists are very infamous for going ghost on people, and I don't hold it against them because I do the same thing with other people. You do a record. I did a song on Ed Sheeran's upcoming album that I'm absolutely in love with.
What's it called?
Oh, if I said it right now, I'd get a text from him in about 10 minutes. It's called...
He'd probably say, oh, thanks for sharing it with the world. Thanks for telling Joe.
It'll say, it's called one of my favorite songs I've done in probably 5 years. It's honest to God. I don't want to overhype it, but it's one of my absolute favorite songs I've ever done.
Why?
And it's with him. It makes you cry. I mean, it like physically made me cry when I heard the demo. And it just hits you in the gut. And I haven't done a song like this in a long time, and was with him and Benny. And, those songs, we did it, and then I didn't. I'm not going to, our friendship has nothing to do with music at this point. So I haven't asked him once about it in 9 months. And then I found out like 2 weeks ago, oh yeah, the song's, it's on. It's a go. And I was like, oh, cool. And it's been like 9 months.
Gosh.
This is what artists do, you know, because they're writing and writing and writing and writing. We did 50, 60 songs for One Republic. There are songs that did not make this album, and it's the way it goes.
Because it has to fit the album, doesn't it? Some songs will go.
Yeah, well, what it is it has to feel authentic. And so I think what the best artists are chasing is authenticity. For One Republic, we're very eclectic. Our albums are more like playlists. This album, our new album, is very much like a playlist. So yeah, you're just chasing whatever's the most honest thing you can do at that moment. You know, come hell or high water. That's what you're chasing.
How many tracks are on your album? It's called Oh My.
Oh My. Yeah, there's 16 tracks. It's the most we'll ever do. I'll never do a song or an album with this many songs again in my life. It almost killed me. And it's by far the hands down the best songs we've ever done. I stopped writing for other people for the better part of 2 years just to focus on this. And we put out Wherever I Go, now Kids. And we have a habit of putting out kind of the smaller records. They get bigger and bigger as they go. And the absolute craziest records are yet to come. And I'm just excited to get into it.
There's one track which really touched me, and that's AI. That's the one that features...
AI, yeah, Peter Gabriel.
Peter Gabriel, yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, I was thinking it was Phil Collins because I hadn't read that it was Peter Gabriel on there, and I was like, and the drums remind me a bit of Peter.
Don't mistake that. If you credit Phil as Peter, Peter is Phil, you open up a decades-old wound.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I had no knowledge. But it's beautiful, and his voice.
He sounds, he sounds. AI is one of my favorite songs on the album. We have a gospel record called Choke that's one of my favorites, and another called the track one, Let's Hurt Tonight. And I'd say Choke, Let's Hurt Tonight, and AI are my three favorites. And AI doesn't sound like anything One Republic's done, but it sounds modern at the same time. I'm just excited. We're actually releasing it.
You sound so proud.
Yeah, well, I'm very proud of this. This particular song might be my proudest moment on the song because it's Peter Gabriel.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite solo artists. He sounds like $1 million on this song. He sounds like he's 25.
Yeah.
You know.
And he's a very nice man.
Oh my God, he's the nicest. He's so nice, it's almost unsettling.
And you must be desperate to play it live, to have him play with you.
I'm desperate to play it live. I would play it right here, right now. If we had a copy of it, I'd play it right here. Maybe you guys can premiere it. I think we're releasing it coming up this Friday or next Friday, something like that. Like if you buy the album, it's downloaded automatically.
Yeah. So, but do you think you will get to play live with him to do that track? Some point?
I spoke with him. About a week ago. And without going into detail, there was a decent chance he was actually going to perform it at the iTunes at Apple Music Festival, but he had something happen that prevented him from even being here to be able to do it. But I have a very good feeling that when we come back on tour, I'm putting it out into the universe. When we come back, play the O2 or whatever we're doing. In 2017, I'm gonna hunt him down.
There'll be one special night when he'll walk out on stage, and it'll be great.
I'm gonna hunt him down. Yeah, we got to make that happen.
Okay, you're gonna play a track from the album now, the single.
Yeah, this is the jump off single for the album. This is called Kids. This is about the summer between my 20 and 21st year. As a kid, are you a kid if you're 20? Are you a kid if you're 20? 21? Yeah, you're a kid, right?
Yeah.
So
Drew's saying
yeah. Them kids. Yes, this is like 2021. Very good summer.
And a good time.
Great, one of the best summers of my life. Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's do it. It's Kids from the album. It's Oh My My, isn't it? Not just Oh My.
Oh My My.
Oh My My. From One Republic, we had Drew on guitar, we had Brian on piano,
yes.
And of course we had Ryan as well. And that's just like one flavour of the great big Neapolitan ice cream, which is that album. It's a joyous album. It goes in so many different directions, and it just feels really good.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Euphoria is the mission.
Yeah. When are you going to be over doing some dates? What's happening live-wise with One Republic?
Yeah, we'll be back here. I mean, we'll be back here quite a bit. I think we're doing a fair amount of television between now and the tour. I know we have an international tour that starts. I think it's like late winter or something like that, 2017, early in next year, and we're going to be everywhere. I mean, from like Dublin to Israel to Asia to London, of course, multiple times.
And this is kind of how the album was made, isn't it? Because it was made all over the place as well.
It was recorded in 16 or 17 countries. We actually finished, I remember the bridge of Kids was written in London, actually at the hotel, on one of my runs, one of my jogs. So yeah, it was written and recorded all over the world because we were just touring and doing shows and things like that. And yeah, we'll be back in the UK quite a bit. I have a feeling for a long
Excellent.
time. Our tours end up lasting. We don't put out the biggest songs until like single 3 or 4 historically. That's just the natural arc of our albums. So that ends up leading to like a 2-year album cycle. So I think we'll be on the road for a while.
This is good news. And is everything else on hold? So you say you're still writing, you're looking...
No,
towards
now I'm writing.
You too? Haven't you been doing stuff
I've
with
been in the
U2?
studio with U2 off and on for a while.
How's that going?
Incredible. This is the best. I mean, I'm very biased, and I'm a massive U2 fan, but I think this is the best collection of songs in 20 years.
That's what I've been hearing.
Since All That You Can't Leave Behind. And last week I was in with the Chainsmokers.
I just played them.
Yeah, there you go. I was in with Alex and Drew. We did a song, and I think we're going to do 1 or 2 more. Been talking with the Swedish House Mafia guys.
Oh my God, you never stop.
Steve is doing a remix, that did Him for the Weekend and did Pill and the Bees. They're doing a remix of Kids right now, actually.
Oh.
And I'll be in with some fun people. I just did a Stevie Wonder record with Ariana Grande and Ed Sheeran, and coming up soon I think I'll be in with Jess and Ellie and a few other British artists.
Oh my God! And do you ever relax?
I do, but music is relaxing. I go for runs and then I write songs. People, how do you do this much music? But the thing is, like, well, how much television do you watch? How many video games do you play? And how much time do you spend whatever at a pub? My hobby is music, but my job is music. So when I'm done with my job, my hobby is still writing songs and playing. So for me, they all kind of bleed together. And then me and Drew and Brian right now are probably going to go to a pub. Ain't that right?
What do you drink? Let me just check. What do you drink?
Oh man, anything
Everything?
before 11.
That's a fitting way to end this session.
Wait a minute. We have time, don't we? Yeah.
You certainly have got time.
Oh,
You've got a good hour in the pub.
We'll have one for you. Well, the problem is we drank coffee to wake up for this session, so there's no way I'm falling asleep for the next 3 or 4 hours.
Enjoy your drink. It's well deserved.
Yeah,
Thank you
we're
so
gonna
much,
do it.
Brian, Andrew. Thank you so much.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks.
Thank you.